Here's a relatively inexpensive way you could build a handrail for something like this. Now remember, this is not a guardrail. This would be something that you would use to just in the aid to aid someone walking up a stairway like this. Now it's not difficult to make, and I'm just going to kind of run you through a process, even though I'm not going to show you the process, just to give you some ideas. You will need to dig a footing, and I would imagine it would need to be at least 12 inches by 12 inches, a 12-inch cube underneath each one of the posts. However, those measurements could vary depending upon the size of the project. If you have a longer stairway, for example, or you're going to use thicker metal. Next up, you're going to need to figure out the length of the post on the bottom. And to give you a general idea, most building codes require a handrail to be between 34 and 38 inches. So you could always start off with something, let's just say 35 inches, and then add, if you dig a 12-inch deep hole, you could always add the 12 inches to the bottom of the post. So if you wanted it to be 34 inches or 35 inches, you just add 12 inches to it. Then you could adjust that, I would imagine, when you are pouring the cement and actually installing the hand railing. And remember, the hand railing will need to be put together first. You'll need to put the entire handrail together. You won't put the post in and then try to attach it. It will not work because you'll be screwing the threads in one direction. You'll be working from either the bottom or the top. But remember, the whole handrail system will need to be put together before you pour the concrete. So of course this would give you ample time to double check all the measurements to see if you would need to cut any additional metal off of either one of the posts, the top or the bottom. Now it won't be difficult to figure out the top post. It will just be a little longer than the bottom post. And to figure that out, all you need to do is measure the distance between the levels, the lower level and the upper level. Let's just say it's 14 inches and your bottom post is going to be 48 inches. You just simply add 14 inches on to the 48 inches and that should be enough. Now the railing here, this shouldn't be too difficult to figure out, and I think the best way you could do it would be to lay a pipe down or a piece of lumber down on top of the stairs at an angle and simply measure the distance between the posts or the center of the footing that you have, the center of each footing that you have dug. Other than that, these things wouldn't be difficult to build. Like I said, this is an inexpensive way to build something. If you're living with someone who's getting a little older and it's a little harder for them to get up and down, then something like this might be a perfect solution. But keep this in mind, and this is important. This is not I don't guarantee that this will work for everyone under every situation. You know, you could grab onto one of these poles and just rip it right out of the ground if the footing wasn't dug deep enough, or actually bend the bars. So just like I said, this is an inexpensive way to do something, but there are no guarantees that something like this will work for everyone under every situation. And you should understand that before you build it. If you're looking for something to be extremely stable, this might not be the answer.